What's up everyone, this is Sam from 64 Wheels, back more at Diecast, and today we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at 3 new 2024 Hot Wheels 5-packs. So you guys know I love 5-packs. Well, I went to Target last night to do some Hot Wheel hunting, and I found all 3 of these. They just had a color and vehicle variation that I could not pass up. So there's some real stunners in here, so we'll go ahead and check each of them out. The first one is the Hot Wheels drag strip, and of course we have a lot of drag themed vehicles in there. We have the Thunderbird, the really nice 62 Corvette Gasser, the Moon Ice Mustang. Like, this will be a pretty popular 5-pack, I have a feeling. Next up, the Hot Wheels Flames. We'll get into this one a little bit more and some problems with the Silverado in this pack, but this one is pretty popular just based on the square body chassis alone. But I'm really looking forward to getting that 64 Impala casting open because it has the retro slotted wheels, and I think those are some of the best mainline wheels that they have. So lastly, we have the Remote Adventures, and this is quickly becoming one of my favorite 5-packs to hunt down just because the variation of the cars. I think this one offers a lot of play value for what they are because obviously you can drive trucks in more places that you can drive like a dragster or just like a lowered car. These are just great looking castings. I love like the dirt tires, and this Tacoma down here in the TRD colors looks amazing. So we'll go ahead and bust these open and take a look at them. So we'll just kind of go in order here. So all right, the drag strip 5-pack. So this is a good 5-pack. It has 3 licensed castings and 2 fantasy castings, but I like the 2 fantasy castings. They look good and they fit good with the rest of the car. So right offhand, we know the 3 licensed castings are going to be pretty popular. One, because we have the Mustang Funny Car in a beautiful Moon Eyes. Moon Eyes is really hot. A lot of people collect those, so that one will be really good. The 62 Corvette Gasser, that's not a casting we see a ton of, but it looks really, really good in this teal paint job with that huge white wall on the back. So that one will be a good one. And then up top, we have the Thunderbird Funny Car, which was released, I think, last year in the mainline, and it's got a huge retro slotted wheel on the back, which looks really good. So this one should be a fun one to open. And look at that box art. Like, that looks really good. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and open this one. Whoop. Gonna massacre another 5-pack box like normal. Ugh. All right, so the first casting is the 88 Ford T-Bird. This was new, I think last year it came out in the pink, the actual what the real car is painted in, then it came out in white, and now we have it in this like, not candy apple red, but it's a really good color. It's a really dark red. Really nice graphics on this. I love retro slotted wheels, so I think that looks great. Does it work as a drag car wheel? That I don't know. To me, it's almost too big. Like, you want a smaller wheel and a bigger tire on the back of these, but I guess it works. It looks good, but I don't know how like logical it is as a drag wheel. But the whole casting looks great. The Vituski Motor Co., the Coco D, that I don't know what that is supposed to be, but Brendan Vituski, I think he's the one that designed this casting, so his name was on the side. But if you collect this casting, this is going to be one to get because it is a 5-pack exclusive and a really good color combination. So I do like on this casting that they use a 3-piece assembly. So you have the upper metal body, the lower plastic body and chassis, but the wing out back, the rear tail panel, and the interior is a black piece of plastic. So that's how they get 3 different colors right there on the back, which look really good. And then you have the headlights as part of the window there. So it's done really well. I mean, this is just a nicely executed casting. So if you're into that one, definitely pick up this 5-pack. So next up, we have the 62 Corvette Gasser in a very nice aqua color with almost like a patina brown on the bottom. It's got the 327 cubic inch Hot Wheels drag strip I can't what that says, yes, and then I think it says performance. BG is usually the class. I assume that means gasser of some sort, but I don't know what the B on the top is. Hot Wheels logo, it's got the 62 on the back. This one does not have any front or rear tampos, so there's no headlights or taillights. It is just those side tampos, but that huge white wall wheel in the back does look kind of cool. It's got the big steel wheels up front with the white wall as well. I think the color combination on this one should be pretty popular. Anytime there's like a 50s or 60s vehicle in that teal color, I feel like it's just like people gobble those up. So this will be a hot one as well, and a fun one to play with. It has a really good presence. Like, it sits on a desk very nicely. So next up, we have the Hot Wired, which I believe is the electric dragster, right? Hot Wired. Really nice color combination. Again, we've talked about this a million times, but when you have a fantasy casting that has realistic colors, I think it just elevates the casting and it looks more realistic. Obviously, if the car's not like clear, glow in the dark or anything like that, but this looks really cool. So it has that internal piece of the white roll cage. It does have the chrome like seat and steering wheel along with the chrome electric motors out back. It's got that huge spoiler, those big rear tires. It does have matching 5-spoke wheels. Really minimal tampos. They're not too bad. That says Roy. I'm probably supposed to know what that is, but I don't know offhand what that stands for. But I like this casting. I know a lot of people aren't into electric dragsters or electric cars, but the design of this casting is done really well. So as a dragster in the 5-pack, I think this has a good home here. So next up, we have the Nitro Door Slammer, which is like Hot Wheels' take on like a door slammer, funny car, drag car. This was made, when was this made? 2006. I was about to say, I think this one's been around a while. Look at how much metal that is. Like just like a big glob of metal there. This is a very sleek casting. It does have a wheelie bar out back, huge tires. This paint job is awesome. I think the 5-packs and the mystery cars, they just have stellar paint jobs. Like that just looks so good. The nitro, the different colors in it, it just looks great. It just, on camera and in real life, the color to it is a very it's a really interesting like pearl plum color. I don't know, violet. What would you call that? What color would you call that? I mean, it's super flaky. It's like a bass boat. But man, that casting, it looks good as a drag car. And it reminds me, the front of it almost reminds me of an Oldsmobile Tornado from back in the day. It just has that kind of look. And it also has like the Mustang, like little side marker lights there too. So I don't know, what do you think that looks like? Tell me what color you think that is and what casting or like what real car do you think that looks like? But because I know they take elements from a lot of different real cars to make these, but that looks awesome in that colorway. Very nice. Even though it's a fantasy casting, it's absolutely killer. So lastly, we have the Mustang Funny Car. So like I was showing you before, this is the Mustang they put in the drift set, which is also a drag car, but it is not a funny car. It's just like a drag car. Mustang set up to do drag racing, where this is an actual funny car with like a pop-up body. I want to say at some point this might have had a lift-up body, but since cost cutting, I think they put a rivet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it did open at one point. So again, Moon Eyes, great looking livery. The yellow looks good on this casting. It says Jim Dunn Racing. Again, I don't know who some of these people are that's referring to. I know it's probably somewhere in the Hot Wheels or Mattel lore, or it's a designer or someone with it. I just don't know who it is. Same with the AL. I don't know if that's like the class or if that's referring to someone, but this looks good. The yellow looks good. The internal like clear piece there looks good, like the smoked windows. It's got the nice like scoops up front in chrome. A very aggressive looking car. And they show the card art with like these two racing, and I think that looks, I mean, those look really cool together. So not a bad lineup there. All 5 solid cars. I would buy, I mean, if each of those were in a single mainline pack, I would buy them all. They're just, I just love the colors on them. They did a good job with them. So next up, we have the Hot Wheels Flame. So obviously, as it says, all these cars have flamed. So again, we have 3 licensed casting and then 2 fantasy castings. And I think that might be, oh no, this one has only 1 fantasy casting in it. So not a bad lineup. We're getting a good breakdown of fantasy to licensed castings in these this year. So, and also, I don't know if you follow or if you're on any of the Hot Wheels like collecting groups on Facebook or Instagram or Reddit or anywhere, wherever you plan to do your interneting. But the interesting thing about this 5-pack in general, as I completely butchering opening it, is that it has the 83 square body Silverado in it. So that casting, for some reason, people really gravitate to that casting. I mean, some of the RLC versions and some of the other like higher end versions of this car are in the 4 figures. People really like them. So if you've been on any of the groups, you'll know that people have swapped this car out and put another car in its place, or they will steal the car out of it. It's just crazy what people will do for $1 car. But for some reason, this Silverado, especially in the flamed, Like people really seem to like it. So this has kind of been a hard one to come by because people will steal it out of there. So if you're buying the Flame 5-pack, just make sure that all the cars in there are actually supposed to be in there. So I don't know how many different pictures I've seen of people sharing online in different groups where the Silverado is missing and like this will be in its place because it's like green or something so people don't look. But I don't know. I personally would not catch a theft charge for a Hot Wheel, especially not a mainline. So don't steal Hot Wheels, people. But the casting looks good. I'm not a huge Flame guy myself, but I think the color combination on this one, it has the green PR5 wheels, nice green striping. It's got the green window. Obviously, the bottom is chromed. It's just a nice casting, but I personally don't get the crazy hype around it where it's enough to steal. Do I like it? Yes. Would I steal it? No. But it's a good looking casting. So let me know in the comments if you're in any of those groups and have seen that casting, especially out of this 5-pack, get lifted because it's happening, I guess. So up next, we have the 56 Ford F100. This is a beautiful casting. It's a very similar color to this T-Bird. Is it the same? No, it's not the same. This one appears to be a little darker, at least like in real life. I don't know if it's coming off on camera, but this one has more like metal flake in it, and this one is just a touch darker, but they're very close. But I really like this casting. I think this is one that's scaled very nicely. It just has the right stance. It has very similar white wall type wheels as the Corvette Gasser here. We'll kind of take a look at them. I would say probably the same. I don't think there's any difference in those, at least on the back. And the fronts are just smaller versions, but it works very well. Like the 50s cars wear white walls just so well. And I think that this like old Flame style, whether it's not like on the front of the car, I like that a little bit better. I just think the design looks a little cleaner. I know a lot of people like Flames on the front, but I think that's just a really nice livery on that. So it says Hot Wheels Engine Builders, El Segundo, California. It's got the Ford logo. Again, there's no tampos on the front and rear of this, as there wasn't any on the Silverado. It's just got those side tampos, but this is a good looking release. Really nice. And they all roll pretty well because they're mainline. So we have the Muscle Speeder in pink. I like pink cars. We don't see a ton of them. I think we're seeing more probably now than we ever have in Hot Wheels history. But this looks good in pink. I don't mind it at all. I think the flames are blended very well into the shape of the car. And again, this isn't one that has flames over the front like the Silverado. This is a side tampo only. And I don't think it's bad at all. I think it kind of blends in. You got the Hot Wheel logo in the middle. This is not my favorite livery. I would just take like some nail polish and get that off and just have a pure pink Muscle Speeder, because I like this casting. I think it looks good. It has a lot of elements of cars I like. It just looks very, very sleek. So I don't know. Let me know what you think of those flames. If you're on board with the flames or not, who knows? I don't know. This one I don't really like. I'm not a big fan of these flames. This is probably like the worst color combination of this pack, but I like this casting. So this is the Boulevard Bruiser. Again, this is a fantasy casting that takes elements of a lot of real cars that I like and mixes them together into one casting. And I like this casting. I'm just not a flame guy, and I just don't think those are done very well. They just don't seem to match the vibe of the car very well. I think there's other castings they could have picked. Maybe that would have looked a little better on the car, and they have that like weird stripe in the front. I don't know. I like the car. I'm just not a fan of the flames on it. So this one I am looking forward to, the 64 Impala, and this is like a really nice casting. They don't use it a ton. It came out in the early 2000s, but it looks great. It's got those retro slotted wheels on it in a very nice like golden bronze color. The flames on this one, again, I don't think they actually look bad. I had a Revell hydraulic model back in the day. It was red and it had very similar flames to this, even on the hood and everything. So again, not a big flame guy, but I think this car, especially this casting, pulls it off. So this is a good one. To me, this one's more theft worthy than the Silverado. I really like this casting. Can't go wrong with the 64 Impala. Just looks so good. Again, if that was $1 in a mainline, I would snatch 100 of those up. they did a really nice job on the color combination and wheel combination. So, all right, last but certainly not least, the Remote Adventure. So like I said before, this is a 5-pack line I've really started to enjoy more than others, because I do like playing trucks and like monster trucks. And these, like, whether you're sitting at a desk and like at a Zoom meeting and just like bored out of your mind or something, and you're just like rolling it along your desk, trucks can crawl over pins, Post-its, well, you know, whatever else you have on your desk. So they give a little bit more play factor, a little more bang for the buck, I think, than like, you know, I can't really drive this over anything. So while it makes a good desk decoration, these are where the play is at. So let's go ahead and check these out. So first off, we have the Toyota Tundra. Let me go ahead and make sure I read so this is the 2010 Toyota Tundra. Really cool paint job. So it has like a map and it says overland. So it's almost like a mountain range, like on the side. I guess that's what it would be. And then this would be the sky and that would be the ground. It's a little intriguing. It almost looks a little Jurassic Park-ish. On the side, the JL-U, and I think that might have something to do with the designer. And then there's the LW for leeway. So I think he designed, I don't know if he designed the casting, but he probably designed the livery. He might have designed the casting. I don't know. This is a little bit older one. Probably came out, 2011. I was going to say right around 2010 when the model came out. But I like the big, oh my gosh, I can't even say, beadlock wheels on this thing. I think this is a very imposing casting. It's fun to play with. It's got that big light bar up front. It has an open bed with plenty of room to put stuff in. Just a nice casting. They've released this quite a few times in the main line, but I think this one's getting overshadowed by the, the 4Runner, and I think the Tacoma casting are the more popular Toyota castings. But man, that's a really good looking release. Whoop. That dark green color just looks awesome. So here is the sole fantasy casting in the line, the Dunasaur. So this one has a brown plastic chassis to make it look like it's gotten dirty. This is one that has the wheel articulation in it. So on the back of the card, they'll have that graphic that shows like the wheels like this to show you that you can like bounce this one around. And these are some of the funnest cars to play with. This, and then what's the other one? The 70 off-road Charger from Fast and the Furious. That is so much fun to roll and bounce around because it has these like articulating chassis on it. And for $1, I think that is a great addition to the castings. Really good play factor there. So this has an interesting, again, this is like a topographical map. Hot Wheels has seemed to release a lot of these like topographical graphic cars recently, especially off-road. I feel like they're really going hard with that, because this one, in the last 2 remote adventures I think we've done, there's been some type of very similar paint job. But I like that it has the separate brown like push bar in the front. It's got the light blue plastic. It's got the darker gray windows probably, and then you have the metal darker blue right in the middle. But that's a good looking casting. It is. I know people aren't into like, some people aren't into fantasy castings, but this one has a lot of play factor, and it's just cool to look at. Like it's, oh my gosh, that's so much fun. That has my vote. I like that casting. So, all right, next up, the 2020 Ram 1500 Rebel. This is a good casting. This is in the main line for 2024. This one does have taillights, it has headlights, I'm sorry, but no taillights. So it does have the nice headlights on it. I don't know why I keep wanting to say taillights. It's got the Ram painted in the grille. This casting, to me, is scaled nicely. Like, it looks good. It's not like, it is a little small, but to me, it's proportioned well. And they have the brown, like, mud tires on it, and it does have the mud paint job on the side, too. It says Rebel on the back. It's got the Ram in the tailgate. This is a good-looking truck. Really fun to play with. So whether you, like, have it on your desk, just sitting there, it looks dirty, or you can, like, actually go play with it in dirt or put it in, like, a dirt diorama for photos, and it'll look good either way. You put some motion blur on the tires, and it'll look like it's flinging mud. Really good release. Again, I'm on board. Really, all these 5-packs have had super releases. So next up, my least favorite casting of the bunch, the Custom Ford Bronco. I just think this casting is too wide and short. It's just an oddly sized casting. Like when I was saying this is proportioned well, like to me, this looks good. This is too, like, I know it's custom, but it's like too customized for me, in my opinion. I have fun playing with it, but it just doesn't match the rest of the vehicles, in my opinion. It's just too large It's like a larger scale than all the rest, I feel like. It doesn't have that chassis articulation, so a lot of these will get bent or they'll start to bow under the pressure of the just of the base and the chassis. So I don't know. It's a cool color. It's got a scratch right across the hood, which is a bummer. But it's like a satin gold color, which is cool, and it says RA05, which I think is at Ryu Asada, maybe? '05, did he design this one? He might have. But it's got the little like sun graphic rising over a set of mountains there, which is cool. Kind of like the Tundra here has a kind of a similar paint job feel to it. But I like that. I think that's a cool, it's almost hidden. Because if you don't look at it close enough, you might not realize what it is, but it's the sun over the mountains, which is cool. Green plastic top. It's got the plastic push bar. I don't know. This is just not one of my favorites, but it looks good in this release. And I like holding it. Like it's got a nice grip point right there if you do want to play with it or roll it around. So lastly, we have the 20 Toyota Tacoma, which I think probably has one of the best paint jobs in all the 5-packs that we've opened today. It does have headlight and front grille graphics, which is cool, and taillights. This is a fully graphic tar. Oh no, does it have a scratch? Boo! Look at that. There's a scratch right there. Oh, that sucks. Man, that's a bummer. Well, I'm going to have to buy another one of these 5-packs. This one, I guess, will be for play and open. I'll have to leave the other one in the package maybe, but I like this. Like Nardo gray color has been super hot, and I like that they have the classic like Toyota TRD Racing, the yellow, orange, and red stripe on it. I think that looks good. It's got the 5-spoke off-road gold wheels. Says Tacoma 4x4 on the back. It even has the like tailgate latch or handle there painted black. It's got taillights. Ignore that sucks. I'm really bummed about that, so just ignore that one. But this, very solid release. This one too, I think is proportioned okay. It still looks a little like stubby to me, or like, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't think the dimensions on it are exactly right. When I like look at the Ram, I feel like the Ram is more evenly proportioned than the 4Runner or the Tacoma. But it's a good looking casting. Same thing with the Tundra. I think that might be a little more, I don't know. The Tundra is a much bigger truck than the Tacoma in real life, so it's hard to tell. But that is an excellent release. The color on it and everything is good. Just, I wish that didn't have a scratch. But other than that, that's like a 5 out of 5 right there. Just a great looking truck. Tampos all around, headlights, taillights, hard to beat that. It'll look cool to display at least, even though if it does have a scratch. So, cool. Well, that was the Hot Wheels Remote Adventures Drag Strip and Hot Wheels Flame 5-pack. Let me know what your favorite 5-pack was, what your favorite release was, what your least favorite release was. Are you on board with Flames? Do you like fantasy castings? Let me know all that in the comments. I always enjoyed talking to you guys about the different releases and what you find in stores, so definitely keep the comments coming because I have fun talking to you guys. And as always, I really appreciate you watching, all the support, all the comments, the likes, the views. I do appreciate it. I do this for fun. It's not a job or anything like that. So I have fun doing it, and I hope you guys have fun watching it. So let me know what you think about all these in the comments, if you've been able to find these in your stores too. I'm in Ohio, so that's where I found them. But let me know if you're in a different part of the country or the world and have found them, because that's always fun to talk about other people's finds as well. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.